And welcome to another episode of Beer Man's No Bull Beer Reviews. Today I have I was going to say another, but I don't think I've done any reviews of this company yet. I have a beer from, I know I did something from Anchorage, but I don't think I did anything from these guys. A beer from Midnight Sun Brewing, who is also from Anchorage, Alaska. And it's just a coincidence I grabbed this glass to drink of. I didn't even think about it, and I just realized it's a Midnight Sun glass. It goes perfectly. Anyways, this one is called SOB, which stands for Son of Berserker. Berserker is their giant imperial stout, aged in maple bourbon barrels. So this is, it says the second runnings of it. But even in second runnings, it's 6.9%, which is decent size for second runnings. But I don't think there's maple syrup in Berserker. I think it's in maple bourbon barrels, so I don't think there's any maple in this either. I'm thinking it's just a regular stout, but we'll see. And this admittedly has been sitting around in my cellar for not that long, but it's probably been like 2 years, so I'm curious how this is holding up. So as you can see, it pours a pretty dark brown to black color with a small darker beige to tan head. It's interesting. The aroma is it's a little smoky, a little bit of roasted malt, some dark fruit in there, and also a little bit of dark chocolate. It's pretty nice. I mean, it's definitely just like a standard stout. It's not. There's nothing in it. I don't think there's lactose in it. It's not an oatmeal stout, whatever. But and especially around like 7%, it kind of reminds me of not quite as robust and quite as refined version of Bell's Kalamazoo stout, which I still think is world class. So it's smoky up front. Mid palate, you actually get a little bit of like an earthy hop character, which is interesting for how old this is. It's not hoppy, but it's a little earthy and bitter. And then the back end, there's a big flush of like dark roasted malt and dark chocolate. It's a very, very well crafted beer, and I'm not surprised because Berserker is a really good beer. You know, you never know what the base is going to taste like versus, not that this is just the base, but it's a smaller version of the base versus the barrel treatment. Ever since, like, you know, M got to a point where it was too old and Barfly got distributed all over the place, Midnight Sun has kind of fallen off the map, and it's kind of a shame in my opinion, because they're not one of my favorite breweries of all time, but they make a lot of really good quality beers with a really nice distribution footprint. I still think Berserker's great, Barfly's great, which is their barrel-aged smoked imperial stout. Arctic Devil, I think, is one of the best barrel-aged barley wines there is, especially one of the best widely distributed. I mean, not widely, like they're not really on the east coast of the U.S., but they're coming from Alaska. I mean, the fact that you can get them on the west coast is still a decent distance, so I would consider that widely distributed. Some of their Obliteration series beers, I mean, they're definitely classic West Coast IPAs, but they're good too if you can get them fresh. But this is honestly, like, this is an example to all those breweries who are just making some shitty ass, like, watery base stout to throw a bunch of stuff in that covers up that the base stout is not very good. To me, this is a perfect example of what, like, and again, I'm speaking in terms of a smaller stout, but it goes for the same, the same goes for imperial stouts. Just an example with this one, like, a lot of, local places, well, I say local, not in terms of Charlotte or Pittsburgh, but local in general, just small places, like, so they'll take a stout that's, like, super watery, has no body, has no staying power, and then just dump, like, so much coffee in it that it just tastes like watered down coffee and there's no beer taste at all. I'm like, yeah, it's drinkable because I don't mind coffee, but it's just not, I don't know, it's not my thing. There's only a very, very, very slight hit of that, like, minty oxidation character, but it is so minor that I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually in this beer when it was fresh, and it's just another flavor that I'm picking up, which kind of, to me, kind of goes hand in hand with the dark fruit notes too. Yeah, I mean, this isn't crazy complex, so there's not, like, a ton to say about it, but it's a really, really well-crafted regular stout. I'd be curious to know how much this costs. I'm guessing because it's smaller and not barrel aged, even though it's in a bomber, I wouldn't think this is more than $10 for this. I would hope not, but yeah, that's I guess that's all I have to say about this as far as the description goes. In my scale of buy, drink, dump, it's tough. It's tough. I would say if this was in a 12 ounce or in cans, it would absolutely be a buy. But I don't know. Sometimes I just don't. This is it. I don't want to bomber with a lot of things, or if I'm going to drink two of them, I like to be able to decide to drink one and then drink another one. But I'll assume that this is a relatively good price, and I'll still say buy because it is a really good example of just a general middle ABV stout, like a bigger but not imperial stout. So I'm gonna go buy in this guy. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got on it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.